Imagine finding love or your community, maybe even building a global brand, not just through, people interacting, but with AI as your guide. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's like happening right now. It's transforming everything from dating right through to online influence.
That's exactly right. Our deep dive today, it's really going to uncover how AI is stepping out from behind the curtain. It's not just the hidden tech anymore. It's actively talking to us. It's matching us. It's even influencing who we become online, on social platforms, in dating, and definitely in that burgeoning world of online influence. It's a pretty fundamental shift, I think, in how we connect with each other and, well, maybe even with ourselves.
Yeah, that's a great point. So let's maybe unpack this quiet revolution that's happening in social apps. For years, they've just been about connecting us, right? Connecting people. But now it feels like they're evolving beyond just making connections.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually reshaping how we relate to each other, how groups form, even the vibe of a whole community.
It really is an interesting evolution. Take an app called Sitch, for example. It's AI-driven, and it goes way beyond your basic profile stuff, the questionnaires. Sitch apparently learns a user's current mood, their core values, even their communication style, like the subtle ways they express themselves. Then it tries to match people, not just on the surface things like photos or interests, but on what it calls their emotional frequency.
Emotional frequency. Wow.
Yeah, it's about finding people who sort of resonate on a deeper level with your actual vibes.
So it's not just matching what you say you want, but how you actually feel and express it. That's a whole new level of social curation, isn't it?
It is.
And then you mentioned status. That sounds like it showcases a whole new wave of niche apps.
Right. With status, you have entire communities that aren't run by human moderators, but by virtual personalities.
Virtual personalities, yeah.
Yeah, and the really striking thing people report is the absence of human admins, and maybe, along with that, less of the usual online drama. Instead, these communities are apparently governed by what they call a pure algorithmic vibe check.
An algorithmic vibe check.
Yeah, that means the AI is actively sort of monitoring and shaping the community's emotional tone, the interaction patterns. It basically tries to keep the space aligned with its intended purpose, almost like an invisible conductor ensuring harmony, but without human interference or, the conflicts it can bring.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, what does it mean for social dynamics when an algorithm is the main judge of connection and community?
Exactly. Are we sort of optimizing for comfort, maybe, over perhaps the more challenging but maybe valuable friction you get with unfiltered human interaction?
That's a really fascinating question. Okay, so if AI can curate our friend groups, what about something even more intimate, our love lives? Because the online dating world, that is truly changing fast. We're moving way beyond just, endless swiping. Now, the algorithm claims it might know you better than you know yourself.
It's definitely an unprecedented level of matchmaking we're seeing. Apps like Butterfly and Heartbeat AI, they're using something called neuroemotional analysis.
Neuroemotional analysis?
Oh.
Wait, what's that involved?
Well, think about this. They're analyzing a user's voice, their text messages, even subtle things like facial microexpressions, all to achieve supposedly deeper, more compatible matches.
Wow.
And the implication, like you hinted, is pretty profound. An AI might actually be choosing your future partner, potentially knowing your unconscious preferences, maybe compatibility factors, better than you consciously do.
And the really interesting thing is what users are saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're reporting fewer ghostings, better conversations, more meaningful ones, and crucially, actual real-world chemistry when they finally meet up.
Yeah, those reported outcomes are key.
It kind of forces us to confront maybe the limits of our own biases when we choose partners. Perhaps love at first sight isn't as efficient as, compatibility at first algorithm. When you look at those results,
It's a provocative thought.
it's pretty wild to think a machine could find you a better match than you could find for yourself.
It does raise that question, doesn't it? What do we really prioritize in a partner, and how much of our choice is actually conscious versus, being influenced by all those unconscious signals that maybe an AI is better at picking up on?
Yeah, definitely something to think about. Okay, well, if AI can pick our partners, what about our public image, our online personas? Because this next point, it really pushes the boundaries of what we even think of as real. Instagram, TikTok, they're increasingly being taken over not by people, but by pixels. We're talking about virtual influencers.
Right, and these aren't just like niche curiosities anymore. We're seeing really prominent examples. Lil Miquela, Kooky AI, and over in Japan, Ima.
Right, I've seen Lil Miquela, huge following.
Exactly. And while these entities, I guess, aren't real people, they absolutely accumulate real likes. They secure real brand deals. They cultivate real fans.
Real fans for fake people.
Kind of. And the startling implication there is that maybe we're starting to value this kind of engineered perfection over, well, authentic, sometimes messy humanity.
And for the brands, the advantages must be obvious.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. These virtual influencers, they don't age. They don't get canceled for saying the wrong thing. Their style is quite literally always perfect because it's designed that way.
So it's not just some like quirky entertainment thing. This is actually a significant shift in business and branding.
Definitely.
Especially as it becomes more common for, Gen Z and Gen Alpha audiences. It really blurs that line, doesn't it, between what's authentic and what's just meticulously rendered.
It does.
It makes you wonder about the long-term impact, like on our collective self-esteem, if the figures we look up to are these flawless, non-existent constructs.
That's a key point. It really suggests a profound shift in how we perceive authenticity, engagement, in the whole digital sphere. It's potentially shaping our expectations of ourselves and definitely of others.
So, okay, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, we kind of ask the big question, right? All these trends, are we heading toward deeper, maybe more optimized connections through these AI interfaces? Or are we maybe stepping into a really sophisticated kind of simulation in our digital lives?
Well, one thing seems undeniably clear. AI isn't just that hidden tech in the background anymore, just powering our apps. It is now very much the face, voice, and matchmaker of our digital lives. It's actively shaping our relationships, our communities, even our perception of what's real.
Yeah.
So the question really isn't if this future is happening. It clearly is. It's more like, how far are we collectively willing to go into this AI-powered social landscape? That's the real question to ponder, I think.